Well, it was 5 years ago today that the world's worst ongoing humanitarian crisis began. More than 90,000 killed, 1 million cases of cholera, 15 million on the brink of starvation. And today, more than 20 million people are caught in the grips of Yemen's civil war with no end in sight. To discuss this, let's bring in retired Marine Corps Gunnery Sergeant Jessie Jane Duff out of Washington, D.C. Jessie Jane, 5 years of civil war in Yemen and still no end in sight to the conflict.
Exactly. We haven't seen any improvement one way or another. It does look like the Houthi rebels have gotten quite aggressive. We've heard about them trying to be more aggressive towards Saudi Arabia. The biggest concern that the U.S. has with this is that this is Iranian-backed militias. These are people that do not have the best interests of the Yemeni people in their interests. And Saudi Arabia is backing the Yemeni government that has been put in place. So you're really got dueling forces. And what's very unfortunate about this is also it's become a playground for Al-Qaeda and ISIS. And not only that, the children and the innocent men and women that are not involved in this are suffering immense malnutrition. We're talking about cholera. A lot of the sanitation has just collapsed, so garbage and waste is prominent. And when you're talking about cholera, it's very difficult to ever get people to survive from that. So it's an enormous world crisis, and it's a humanitarian crisis that we probably have not seen in modern times recently.
Jessie Jane, though, do you think the Houthi rebels have been underestimated? I mean, they've been able to gain control of large regions and key provinces in Yemen.
Exactly. They've gotten they've managed to acquire the capital, and Saudi Arabia having the best state-of-the-art arms out there. You know, they have an air force, they have weapons that have been supported also by the United States, have not been able to overcome them and devastate them. But, you know, it's really troubling because sometimes some of the humanitarian aid that's been trying to go in has been seized because they're concerned that it would be going to feed the Houthi rebels. Meanwhile, the children are not being able to get any food. This has become something that is a disgrace on so many levels. Yet at the same time, I don't appreciate that, or I can appreciate with Saudi Arabia's concern to have an Iranian-backed Houthi rebels in their back door. That's something that they can't tolerate either. So I'm not quite sure what the answers are right now.
Well, hopefully we won't be talking about another 5 years of this Yemen civil war. Hopefully it will end one way or the other soon. Retired Gunnery Sergeant Jessie Jane Duff, thanks for being here on Take 30.